Hey guys, Darling here. So, I did an audio interview with someone who wishes to remain anonymous. So, I'm about to upload that for you right after this video. You will hear her side of her story. You will hear her advice for people in her situation and how she overcame it. So, I'm going to drop that below. Hey guys, this is Veronica here with AbuseNation. I have someone with me that wishes to share her story. She is to remain anonymous, so let's jump right in. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your story.
I was with my ex for 2 years. It's as long as it lasted, and it lasts no longer than that. So, he was very abusive. He physically, mentally, and he just was not a very good person. So,
And how did that make you feel at the time?
sad, depressed, especially having a child at the time, and him seeing that was not good for the child either. So we had to do something to get him out of there as well as me.
And during that time, what obstacles did you kind of have to overcome for your child?
I just packed up and left one day and didn't say anything.
Okay.
So,
and how has that made you into the person you are today?
a lot better person, because I don't have to be let down or talked to in a way that you shouldn't be talked to, and I don't have to feel stressed out and depressed because I know that I don't have to deal with it anymore.
Do you think in the end that's made you a stronger person?
Yes, definitely.
And what would your advice be to people going through that situation right now?
If you're in a situation like that, get out. Don't live with it. Don't think, oh, because we have a kid together, we can make it work, because it don't always work that way. You have to do what's best for you and your child, or if it's just yourself, you have to do what's for yourself, because nobody deserves to be treated like that.
It's very well put. And for the people who's scared to get out,
don't be scared. You are your own person, and you can do it. Don't let anybody else tell you different, because they're just trying to pump stuff in your head to make you believe that you're not a strong person.
Okay. And did you, along the journey, did you do any kind of self-motivation, any kind of self-empowerment? Anything that helped you? What helped you get through that situation?
I worked a lot, honestly. I just focused on work and come home, and he was usually in the bed because I worked night shift, so he was usually done in the bed, so
okay.
I didn't have to worry about that.
So you kept your mind distracted and you constantly worked, because we all know that when you get consumed by your thoughts, it can be very dangerous at times. So okay, that's a good thing. I even find myself doing that, is I work so much that I don't have to think about things. And so, how's your son now?
He's doing a lot better. He, since switched schools and all that and everything else that's happened since then, he's doing a lot better. He's more himself, should I say.
Okay. Well, that's good. We're glad that he's doing better. And what advice would you give for a single mother in that situation?
There's help out there. There's therapists out there that you could talk to, or if you have a really good friend that you can tell anything, definitely talk to them. Don't let it build up in your system, because it's just going to make it worse in the end. So definitely talk to somebody. Just distract yourself. Go out and do things with your child. Go to the park if it's warm outside, and just, you're sitting outside and it's nice and you're just breathing in the good air. It relieves a lot of stress when you just sit there and just, you don't have to worry about anything. So.
That sounds good. Did you go to the park? Take him to the park?
Oh yeah, we went to water parks and the regular park, and we just did in odd things together just to pass time. My dad, he has four-wheelers and guns and stuff, so he enjoys doing that stuff too. So like go getting muddy in the mud hole. So.
And did you see by doing those things with your son that it helped his mindset too?
It did. It did.
And do you notice a difference from when he was going through that situation to now?
Yes. He's a kid. He can be a kid. He don't have to worry about, well, is my daddy gonna hit my mama, or he's a kid. He wouldn't know what to do anyway if I was laying on the ground. So a little 2-year-old kid is not gonna know what to do in a situation like that anyway.
And for the mothers, again, that's in that situation, what would you suggest to help the children? Because if they're scared to leave, and their children, because that does have traumatic impact on children at that age, because those are your base stages of learning.
Right. If they have family members that could take the children for a little bit until they can get situated, or a friend, like a really good friend or a family member, that would probably be the best thing to do.
Definitely getting the children out of that situation. But once you overcome that, it does make you a stronger person. And there's multiple different kinds of abuse. Like if you're in an abusive relationship and you have a child, that impacts them highly. To witness that growing up, like you don't want them in that environment, and they don't need that, because that will also impact, because people handle situations differently. They can take that and turn into a bad person, they can take it, turn into a good person, but either way it affects them as they progress in their learning stages and they get older, and that tends to come out later in life.
Exactly. They can end up a drug user, stealing things. Anything could happen, and your kid doesn't. You definitely don't want to see your child in that situation. You just don't, because you look back and be like, well, if I could have got out sooner, would he not been like this, or she had been like this?
And what do you suggest for the women, or even men, that feel like you just said, got out of that situation too late and they blame themselves?
Don't blame yourself, because it's not your fault. If you can get out, get out. Don't live with it. Don't be like, oh, well, he just did it one time, he probably won't do it again. It's gonna happen again. If he's gonna do it once, or she, either whatever situation you're in, it's gonna happen again. If it happens once, it's gonna happen again. And just, if you can get out, just go. Just pack up what you need and go, and don't look back, and don't regret it, because in the long run it's better for yourself.
So I guess you would suggest that people are a lot more important than things, and things can easily be replaced, but people can't.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a very good point. And last question is, how do you partake when people say, oh, I'm going to change, I promise I won't do it again, because we know that we all hear it.
We do hear it, and I've heard it more than once. If you feel like that you want to give it another shot, give it a shot. If you don't, then just go. If you feel like he or she is going to do it again, then there's just no sense of staying. You might as well just forget it.
Exactly. And we do have a support system here. So people in these very situations, we have a way where you can communicate and be able to talk to other people experiencing the same situation. That way you know that you're not alone, and that other people are going through the very same thing. So that's the network that we're trying to build here, is to show people that this is a very serious problem that's overlooked. And there are different degrees of abuse, different kinds of abuse, and some are a lot more extreme than others, to say the least, and some unfortunately do not make it out of those situations. There are people that do lose their life in this situation, and we're trying to prevent that. We're trying to expand all kinds of media all over the world. That way people have a safe place to go. And so, do you have any advice for anyone pertaining to that? About seeking help?
I guess, like I said, if you can get help, or if you, like I said, a family member or anything that can help you, or that can try to get help for you, definitely do it.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your story, and we're glad that you're doing well, and we will